If you are a home seller and the agent you're interviewing does not show you the type of virtual tours that they do, you might have a problem. You should listen to this podcast while we tell you why. 76% of consumers prefer virtual tours over open houses. We're also going to talk about one of the largest real estate firms in our country is now suing Zillow, and I'm a big proponent of that lawsuit. We're going to get into that. And then finally, you ever go on Google Maps and you see a picture of your house and you don't want everybody else to see it? We're going to talk to you about how to blur that out and the pros and cons of both. So stay tuned. Here we go.
Happy podcast day!
Happy podcast day.
Obviously, a lot of energy and testosterone in this room today.
Vegas Dave, welcome back.
I am back.
Happy birthday.
60th birthday, incredible feat.
60th,
Club Cabo.
Yeah, Club Cabo, 60th birthday. It's good to be here, older and wiser. So I am going to jump right into stats. We're in the dog days of summer. You guys are probably too young to know that term, but
Anything like a canary in a coal mine?
we'll talk about that later. All right. Inventory levels, right? So I definitely think we are at or near the top of what we're going to see, right? We're at the beginning of July, so I think we'll see a little bit of an increase in inventory over the next month or so, and then we'll see that, slow, steady decline between now and the end of the year. We are sitting on about 2 to 2.5 months worth of inventory. So for our sellers that we have listings, I don't think any of them are longer than a month per se, right? Except for some of our quirkier ones, like 4 units.
Have been on the market?
Yeah. So if average days on market right now, or if we have 2 months of inventory, worth of inventory right now, which is what we do, we have, roughly 2,000 single-family homes, condos, and townhomes on the market. And we're only pending about 900, so we got about 2 months worth of inventory.
Well, I'm stuck on the market in Morgan Hill and Hollister.
So again, and that's what we normally see, right? Those feeder towns starts outside Hollister or maybe up, towards Pleasanton, Livermore, and then slowly creeps into our market. So yeah, if you're in Hollister right now, if you're in Gilroy right now, parts of Morgan Hill, you're certainly seeing properties move a lot slower. I know in San Jose we are still seeing some multiple offers, right? I know, Ben, you just got 9 offers, right?
Yeah, that was last podcast we were talking about that, just about how many offers are we even going to receive for it. I think you thought it might have been slightly overpriced.
It was overpriced.
We have neighbors in the neighborhood who are coming up saying, oh, you're way underpriced. So I think, again,
But what did the market tell you? Were you underpriced or overpriced?
we were under.
And you sold at multiple offers and about 200,000 over.
250 over, yeah.
250K over.
Now the marketing will only say 250 over. Mine would say 800 over. Aaron listed it for 1498.
Well, and that.
But it's still those pocket neighborhoods, though, like you said. They are moving.
But it's a premier street. Like, it's someone that's probably going to have their 10, 20, 30-year house,
Yeah.
But, like, the I call them cut-through streets. Like, there's one in New Jersey for $1 million right now that we were talking about. Like, that isn't the market it once was, where you're going to have, like, 13 offers,
Yeah, that one is interesting. They priced that. That kind of reminds me of that home we had in over near Lee High School. I think you smelled something and ended up in a hospital, but we priced it for $1 million. Yeah. Do you remember that? It's like something
Toxic
in the air.
Poisoning.
Yeah. But it was like they're fire selling this one for sure. And I mean, we went to go tour it this last weekend, and we walk into the open house, and there's just one woman sitting in the back at a table with just disclosure packets already printed out, just handing them to people.
Yeah.
There was probably
It's actually a smart play. If
Yeah.
you feel like you're stuck and you have like good schools and you know that you're going to get activity, just go 998 and let the market decide where it goes.
Yeah, for a house like that, I think it's easier said than done. I think with other homes, just pricing it at 990 might be a little aggressive.
So that's a strategy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what we're talking about is different types of pricing strategies. We've covered that on the podcast quite a bit. Do you price super low to generate a bunch of interest and offers, or do you price it at market? So you're doing transparent pricing, and it's our job, I think, as agents, to not only articulate where we think our pricing strategy should be, but to test the market, right? And that kind of leads me to my next topic. If a seller employs an agent and the seller says, hey, I want you to test the market within your own brokerage, right? I don't want to put it on coming soon. I want to sign this listing with you. I'm a seller. I have the right. It's my house. I believe I have the right to do what I want with it, and I want you to test it in-house for 30 days. we work for Keller Williams. We have our office which has 230 or 40 agents, and I want you to broadcast it out. So sellers should have the right to do that, right? Without any implications. Well, Zillow has now come out and said, well, hold on, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner. If you do that and we find out, we're going to ban you from our platform.
When you say ban you, does that mean the house or the agent?
The house. You can, if a seller says, hey, I want you to test it off market, not on coming soon, within your own office for 30 days. That way we can test the pricing strategy out, see what the interest level is. And if we get an offer, great, I'll take it. And if not, then we can do coming soon and on the open market. But Zillow says no. Zillow says, if you're going to do that, then your house is banned from our portal, our site. So Compass, Rob Refkin.
Robert Refkin.
Yep. Who,
Good for him.
I'm a big fan, right? I mean, he's, obviously it's a different brokerage, but I'm a big fan of what he's doing. He's stepping up, really taking the lead for our entire industry, for the ones that believe in what he's advocating for, which I believe as well, which is, hey, sellers should have the right to do what they want when it comes to marketing, to the agent that they hire and to marketing their home. And back in 2014, Zillow did a big push with press releases and all, saying, "Hey, put your coming soon house on our."
That's what I was.
So you don't have to put it on the MLS. Put it on our platform and test the market.
Do you remember like Zillow Make Me Moves and then Zillow Coming Soon? It was the biggest thing.
Yeah, and it's funny because on one hand, Zillow is saying, no, you have to put it. All these for fairness and openness and transparency, you should put it on the market, which means putting it on our portal for everyone to see. And if you don't do that, we're going to ban you. But on the other hand, they also say, hey, sell your home directly to us and you don't have to put it on the market. So they're trying to have it both ways. And, big shout out to Compass and Rob Refkin over there for what he's doing.
I like that you're on a Rob basis with Robert.
Yeah.
It's not Bobby Refkin.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, Bobby Refkin.
He's not that he pitches for the Giants.
Well, when we're messaging each other on Instagram, it's Rob
Bobby
and
throws
Dave.
6 innings, smokes 1 pack of cigarettes, and has Navistar accounts.
But, big fan of what he's doing. And I do think, Zillow is trying to monopolize that. And it's a battle of choice versus control.
I have 2 things for that.
Go for it.
One, I think as a homeowner, you have certain rights, and however you want to sell your house is how you should sell your house.
Yeah.
If your house is worth $2 million and you want to sell it to Jason for $1 million, God bless you. Go do it. Sell it anyway.
It's
you want.
America.
And the number 2 thing is agents and consumers don't realize that they actually have all of the power over Zillow. All it would take is everyone to just have a mass exodus on giving Zillow public information, basically, or private information, which would be the sale of our homes. But it won't. It's like Occupy Wall Street type of thing, where if everyone did it, then there would be no Zillow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we've definitely
Take a stand. Come on, Bobby Refkin.
Wait, I have a question and a clarification. So, and I might have heard differently, but if your home, let's say, is worth $2 million or it's appraised at 2, and that's what market value is in the neighborhood, and then you go and sell it for $1 million to someone, could you get in trouble for that? No.
you can do whatever you want. I
The
mean,
only reason you have comps is because it's public data.
No, I'm saying if you sell a home for under market value, like
Why-
so far below under market value.
Who? The
I don't know.
seller or you?
State taxes? I don't know.
okay, well, there's a couple of things here. First of all, when does that ever happen?
It doesn't. That's yeah.
So
yeah.
then
I mean, plus or minus maybe like 200 to 300
That's what I'm saying.
grand.
But I had
that's
someone
like
ask me this the
deferred
other day.
maintenance.
Well, they were like, my buddy was like, oh, if I buy this home off this person, let's just say it's worth $1 million, but I'm going to buy it for 200 grand in cash, and that's what it's going to show for my taxes. But then I'm going to pay her out on the back end.
That's called fraud.
okay,
well, that's why it's wait.
on.
Well, that's
That's
why.
like India.
Yeah.
It's like gray money or something.
Black money.
So
money.
They let's say it's $1 million house, they would pay $500K in with
Paper.
loan or whatever, and then they would pay the other half outside.
Yeah.
But
And
also,
it's like a known. It's like people don't talk about it, but it's like a known thing that people do it. So the
well,
seller
here
will
it is
avoid
very illegal.
Right,
You,
okay,
you should have
okay.
answered your own question because when you added that part,
That's what I was thinking.
but
Yeah.
if you did get a crazy deal, like our friend that is also in real estate got a pretty good deal on his property, and the city stepped in and reassessed him. They're
See,
like,
that's
"Hey, you
that's
gotta-"
yeah. That's what I was saying.
But he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, the county can go in and
And
say,
reassess.
They're like,
that's
hey, dude,
great.
this value doesn't match, which
Yeah,
is cool.
yeah.
Whatever, fine.
Okay, that's what I just need clarification.
Yeah.
I knew I heard that somewhere. It was
Yeah, but back to kind of Compass versus Zillow. To your point, yeah, sellers should absolutely have the right to do what they want with their home. And for a company like Zillow to punish a homeowner because of something that they want to try first, I think is horrible.
What do you think's gonna happen? Like, we're kind of in the thick of it right now, and he's clearly not backing down, and he's backed by SoftBank compasses.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna fight to the death.
And also,
We're going to Compass.
we're not going to Compass, respectfully.
Bobby.
It is Bobby Vanilla Day. It's Bobby Redkin Day now.
Respectfully, we're not going to Compass at this time. But also the attorney that won the class action lawsuit against National Association of Realtors, he's picked this up as well, and he agrees with Rob Refkin. And so we may see, some acceleration of that. And I think ultimately, especially under this administration, I think the seller having the right to do what they want with their home is going to prevail.
Speculation, Your Honor. I believe that attorney made $800 million in that $1 billion settlement. Is that accurate?
It is fairly accurate.
That needs to be fact checked, but that dude made so much money. Why are you still working?
Mostly it's the attorneys that, make out the class.
But go get Zillow. Come on, take them down. We're not Zillow Premier agents anymore.
Well, I think I know the answer to this. Have we talked about why? Like, why is Zillow doing this?
Well, Zillow wants control over data, right?
And
all they are is a data company. They don't even own anything.
Yeah, they don't buy and sell houses.
But what's bullshit is they're the first one to make an offer on an off-market house.
But what do they do with the leads that come in for?
They sell them back to
They
us.
sell them
we're
back.
dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put them on their platform. They get the leads. They sell them back to us.
Oh, I'm going to give my data to another company and then I'm going to buy it back. Oh, that makes sense.
And it's
Thanks a lot.
It's a lot of that,
Been in
right?
Business for 30 years.
Yeah. Well, there are other people to thank for that besides me. So it is fairly common. I think all of us do this. We go on Google Maps. We put in an address to get an idea what the outside of the home looks like. Well, a lot of people, for privacy reasons, say, hey, we don't want the front of our home shown. Your ex sounds like police. They may see access points, from the front entryway of the home, or windows, or ways to get into a property. Maybe a burglar would take advantage of that. Wow. So Google says, hey, you can blur your home, no problem. You go to the desktop, you go Street View, hit the little button on the top left-hand corner, report a problem, say, hey, I own this home, I want it blurred out. So... and you can do that. And we see it every once in a while. We'll see a home blurred out. But the unintended consequences of that, and they actually interviewed, I believe it was a police detective. He says, well, if you do that, then maybe you're telling a prospective burglar, like, hey, there's a reason why I don't want you to come into my house. Could be valuables, or something like that. So it may have the opposite effect. So I want to know what you guys think about that. Jeet, you just closed on your first home recently. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Will you be blurring out
question.
the image?
Let's
of Google Maps?
burglarize that thing.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think I'm too worried about access points in my house, but I do see the reasoning behind why people may want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing is just privacy in general. Like sometimes when that car is going by, like they see you in the driveway putting groceries out, doing a random thing, and they might be like, oh, I don't want that out on the internet. But another thing, I mean, as realtors, we love seeing properties from outside and like the condition, and it helps us price properties. So that's another aspect that it's useful for.
Yeah, I'm okay with removing like interior photos and stuff, virtual tours. I mean, if I buy a house, I don't want everybody to know exactly the floor plan of my house.
Yeah,
I do. Hit it hard, hit it fast. Get out of there.
Well, okay.
Right, buddy?
Okay, so none of you would blur the front of your house out?
I don't know. Ask the guy who quit PD.
Retired.
I
think
big difference.
It can go both ways. It depends on what you're looking at. Definitely, for sure, if you're looking from like a safety standpoint, you want your house blurred out, that could do that, but also could flag, someone looking for it. I never had any like case where, it linked back to like, oh, they go on Google Maps and they do that. But there was a crew kind of like early like 2012 in like the Almaden Valley, and they were specifically going after houses that had American flags on the house.
Oh, interesting.
So American flag, you're a good American. What do good Americans have? Guns.
Yeah.
And then those ones were getting hit over and over again.
Which is interesting to me
In the
because
Golden Ghetto?
which is interesting to me because I don't know if I would intentionally burglarize a home that I suspected had guns.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's probably going to be a firefight, and I'd rather,
Yeah.
not do
So
that.
there's like daytime daytime burglaries where they're hoping no one's home.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting. You got to be a smart burglar to be going on Google.
They're not.
Casing homes
Don't
via
give them
images.
credit.
Yeah.
They're not smart.
I've seen my clients asked to remove a photo on Google. They asked me about this last year. They bought a fixer-upper and then turned that single-story shack into a two-story just behemoth. So they didn't want friends and family going on Google and seeing where they lived and what they did to it. They just kind of wanted their privacy from. I don't need them to know what.
Yeah,
how
the
much
one
money
thing
we
to keep
spent.
in mind, and I'll just close it with this, is that
You didn't ask me.
Yeah, but it's okay. There's enough of us on
Guys,
the podcast,
I want to tell you my perspective.
and we can't wait to hear it. So go
Okay,
ahead.
I'll go first. It's at last.
Yeah.
You'll go like fourth, but yeah.
I was once told you can only have so many in a day to give, and I can't waste any of my on blurring a Google image.
Well,
That'll do it.
be.
That was
That'll do it. That'll do it. That was-
Hey, clip that. Clip it. Don't worry about it.
and so to close this topic out, just a reminder: if you do choose to blur out the image, it's permanent. So
Oh, you can't
permanent.
undo it.
Oh,
can't undo
can't
it.
undo it.
Once it's blurred, it's blurred. Just
blurred their house.
just like having a baby. Once it's out, it's out. It's done. Nothing you can do about
What
it.
if owners get changed and there's a new owner?
Well, I
It's
mean,
blurred.
why don't you take it up with Google?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Report a problem. I've
I
been
have a
blurred.
question. Does the blurring of the image only blur the street view, or can I still zoom in from the top and
it
see
blurs
like a
everything.
backyard,
I sold a house
Everything.
that was blurred once.
like overhead too?
I actually lost the listing, but it was blurred.
Speaking of viewing properties online, kind of an interesting survey came out recently that said 76% of consumers would rather an online property that they're looking at rather have a virtual tour than an open house. And I just want to highlight the fact that I always think it's interesting when we're looking at properties on the MLS and they have no virtual tour, no floor plan. Right? Some pictures of the interior of the home.
Why do you think it's interesting?
Well, I think it's interesting because in this day and age, obviously the expectation is, consumers want virtual tour. They want as much information about the floor plan layout, size of the interior of the home. So much so that they would rather look at that online than go to an actual open house. And so for an agent to not include, those bare minimum virtual tours and 2D floor plans just reminds me that there's still either a lot of lazy, either they don't know or they don't care, right? They don't know agents. An agent either doesn't know what consumer trends are, or they know and they don't care. They want to cut corners and say, "Hey, I can save $300 out of my commission," because
But they can potentially lose an offer or two from a family that doesn't feel confident in submitting because they don't have enough time in the home.
Exactly. So don't work with lazy agents.
I sent a mailer about that.
I know, that's why I said that. Don't work with lazy agents, and make sure to interview multiple agents. And just because they put your home on the MLS, put a sign in the yard, doesn't mean that we're all equal.
Yeah, especially if you can't get their cell phone number and the lazy agent only allows you to call their office to get a hold of them. That would be a real pisser.
Sounds like there could be material facts that you can allude to the agent to disclose.
Court right now.
I think, to your point, that there is one number one thing that annoys buyers that are like actively in the market, like super interested in homes the most, and that is the wide angle photo lens that these real estate photographers shoot.
So it's misleading.
I think it's super misleading photos, but the virtual tour gives you a much better perspective of like, oh, the actual size of the bedroom is like 8 by 10, not 16 by 10.
Yeah. Another thing is like once we've already shown the property and then they go back and we've been there maybe 15 to 30 minutes looking at the property. So, they mull over it for the next couple of days, and it's good to, for them to go back and see like, oh, was that door a closet, or was that, was there a furnace inside?
Right.
Or, was that a bedroom? Oftentimes you don't think about those nuances, but then the buyers want to go back and feel the space again in virtual space and, walk around and see how they felt when they were there.
Yeah, the only time, because we do virtual tours and 2D floor plans on all of our listings, the only time I haven't done one is if it's still seller occupied and they don't want all their personal belongings being shown online, right? I mean, there are some instances, but overall, I mean, obviously 76% of consumers want that over an open house, and so don't be a lazy agent. That's the moral of my story.
Do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do both.
I agree.
Also, I would say like do a virtual tour, right? Like use the right person for it, because oftentimes I've seen where they've skipped a closet or a room or something like that, and then there's just a massive black hole in the middle, and then
Something's blurred out.
yeah, and then they're like, wait, what's this? And it's maybe the master bedroom closet, the walk-in closet was missed or something like that. So it gives a totally different overview of what the property looks like then.
I agree.
Yeah.
Speaking of agents, you want to tell a little bit of story about the one that you encountered in your neighborhood?
This is unacceptable.
You know, because one of the things we say,
Old neighborhood.
I'll let you jump in here, but one of the things we say, when we're teaching agents, because all of us have been on panels and taught other agents, is don't be a secret agent, right? Don't be hard to find. There's no intrigue in being mysterious and not giving out information. So tell us about that secret agent that you encountered.
Yeah, and just to piggyback real quick, I think to get the best number for your seller or to get a buyer accepted, the transparency between agents, I think, is more crucial than these agents who try to hide material facts understand. Like, why are you trying to get the highest number for your seller and then not telling us what number that is? Like, why are we playing a guessing game always? But walked up to this house today, super polite, introduced myself, wanted to welcome him to the neighborhood, mentioned to him that we have other buyers in this neighborhood, other listings coming on. We'd love any advantage as we can if we can get buyers inside in advance. Immediately pulls me away from the porch. Not allowed to step on the porch in this situation.
The agent.
The agent. Can't step on the porch.
one.
Can't step inside. And this is after me mentioning that this was my
Said
old.
You can't or he can't.
I can't. And this was my old neighbor's house. Like, I've seen the inside of this house a million times. And I told him, I said, listen, I've lived here for 7 years. I know the inside of the house. I'm not asking to go inside. I just want a conversation.
Yep.
Starts off from there, asking him what his price strategy is. No price strategy. Doesn't have a comp. Doesn't have a price point.
Who hired him?
That's what I asked. Instead, I looked him up. And for buyers out there who are listening or sellers, we look up all agents that we work with, whether we're offering on a home or not. We talked about this before. If we can take advantage of someone, we're going to take advantage of them.
On behalf of our client.
On behalf of our clients. So I look up this agent. 8 homes in 5 years. 8 homes in 5 years. So who hired him? Who knows at this point? I have no idea.
Because there's attorneys involved.
There's attorneys involved. And that's what baffles me too. Attorney, I feel like, would take this job more seriously as the fiduciary duty to his client and hiring someone with a track record.
How old
to
was
get,
this guy?
Had to have been in his 50s, 60s. So older gentleman, tons of 30 years of experience. 8 homes in the last 5 years. Asked him for a cell phone number. Hey, listen, I'd love to be in contact with you as the
Were you
weeks go.
nice to him, or did you do the Ben like I got started to get upset type?
No. I'm asking him good questions. What's your cell phone? I'd love to stay in contact. If you can't tell me now, sorry, I don't give out my cell phone number. You have to call directly to the office to get in touch with me.
Which is why he only sold 8 homes in 5 years, because nobody can get a hold
So
of
he
him.
has his own office?
Which means, so if I'm looking up this guy and I see that he's done 8 homes in 5 years, that tells me he probably has a full-time job doing something else, not real estate. And he probably can't get cell phone calls at work, or else he'll get fired, right? And he can't lose his paying job because he has to sell, his 1 house or 2 houses a year.
Yeah.
Who you work with matters.
Yes.
I've got another interesting one along those lines.
Yeah.
I am in competition to become a listing agent for a property where 2 family members are suing each other to sell the home. And there is
Their goal is the same thing though, to sell it?
no one family member wanted to stay in the house. The other family member said, no, we own it together, let's sell it. So the one that wanted to sell it won, right? So they're forcing the sale.
How did he win? Just maybe
Sued
the
him.
other one couldn't
he took
buy
him
him
to
out.
court. So it's called a partition sale. So first they try to do partition in kind, meaning can you divide, can you split the baby in half so that each party gets something, right? And they do that sometimes. They do it.
what does that mean?
Sure. On a 2-story house. So if
No way.
yeah, so
Okay.
if there's a way to split it, to turn it into 2 units,
Really?
then the guy that wants to stay can stay, and then the guy that wants to sell can sell his
pretty-
half of the house.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I would have
so
sued him for the money.
partition in kind. So because of the way the house is structured, it's not feasible. So now they're doing partition by sale, which means they're forcing the sale. So the judge reviews all the facts. Okay, you can't do partition in kind, and so now we're going to sell it. So now it gets handed over to the partition referee, right? So partition referee is an attorney. He's not their attorneys, right? They each had an attorney. gets handed over to a partition referee, and then the partition referee has to go out and find a real estate agent. Okay, so I met one of the siblings. I interviewed. He says, "Hey, I like you. I got to hand your information over to the partition referee." Partition referee's office calls me and says, "Hey, I need a 1-page summary on you, your experience, and what you're going to do with the home." And then they ask, "Well, by the way, would you mind co-listing the property?" Right? So co-listing, obviously, 2 different agents, typically from 2 different offices. And I told them, of course, I don't mind co-listing. I said, but
Why did you say of course?
I said, of course, because in my mind, I'm the best solution for my client. So if they're going to have another agent in there, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to
Be there too.
yeah, to be there too, and make sure that that agent is elevated, to my level of expertise.
Elevated. That's how you know you've been with me. So you feel like, okay, in your head before you even said yes, that maybe that family member had his agent or her agent,
Yeah.
and then your guy had you.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, cool. It's
Yeah, and I explained to the partition referee what typically happens in a co-list is one agent is the dominant one. They're the one that runs the show, does everything. The other agent just sits in the back and collects.
the submissive.
And collects a check. And she says, "Oh," but,
In that case, it's you.
and they go, and the partition referee goes, "Oh no, it won't be like that because the other agent in the transaction has done a lot of these and is familiar with the process of the paperwork in the courts." And I'm like, "Oh, that's great. Who is it?" They give me the agent's name.
Can you tell us? Can we cut it?
No, I look it up.
Hey, dude.
Yeah,
Tell us the name.
the house is in Campbell, California.
Great city.
Oh, this guy's in San Francisco. This is some.
No, my co-listing
LA,
agent is
LA.
in San Bernardino County.
Yes.
You love it down
They know the market so well here.
And she told me, or they told me, he will never step foot in the property. He'll never see the property. You're going to do all of the upfront work.
But he knows the
But he knows the process of the, partition,
We'll call him Dominant Dave.
yeah.
All right, you're not the submissive.
No. If it comes down to me having to share a listing with another agent, even if they're not from the area, even if they don't have the experience, even if it means I only get half the commission I normally do, I'm still willing to do that for my client because ultimately, I want to make sure they get the best level of service.
Yeah.
And can you imagine having to work with an agent that doesn't step foot in the property, that doesn't know
You
the
should ask him
market?
for 50 cents of his next listing in San Bernardino.
Imagine selling someone like a condo or something and then like having to split the next sale with Ben. That'd be crazy.
Anyway.
But think of the cultural differences down there.
Yeah. But
That's happening.
But obviously, that agent has a relationship with that partition referee. And so I will now be going out to every partition referee in the state of California and letting them know, hey, one,
You know the experience.
I know the process. But also, I mean, I have a hard time seeing how that best serves any client, right? You have family members that are suing each other because they wanted to sell the house. And now that referee is saying, "Oh yeah, you're going to use 2 agents," which in theory seems okay because now you're maybe double the exposure, 2 different brokerages. But ultimately, one of those agents is 5 hours drive time away from the home. I don't know how that makes a lot of sense. But
dumb.
I'm going to do it. I'll keep you guys posted.
Maybe he'll do the open house though first weekend.
Up from San
We'll get him a flight.
Yeah, but any case.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, have we given Jacob enough stuff to edit out? Is there any podcast left? Any other topics?
Yeah, me and Jay's got one topic. We've got one topic.
Well, no, Jason's got a
Second
list.
Harvest Food Bank's moving to Alviso.
So that was interesting because they're a nonprofit and they paid what $13.5 million for that land.
Goodwill's a nonprofit too.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Alviso coming up.
They're gonna be my neighbor.
Not anymore.
Former.
Not anymore.
Former neighbor.
Big Los Gatos guy.
All right, Jason. I know you got a list. Let's get.
You want the list or you want seasonality?
List.
Dude, we can start with the list and transition
All right,
like the
cool.
seasons and the seasonality.
Well, in reference to Mark, top 10 list.
Mark Von Canel.
Mark Von Canel. MVK. Couldn't find a top 10, but I got close with the top 7.
I prefer 7.
Okay, 7, a little quicker.
Yeah.
All right, top 7 zip codes to live in San Jose for the first quarter of 2025.
Based on what criteria?
Best place to live. So it was a lot of different
Quality of life.
Quality of life. This went into quality of life, walkability, all the way to how many college degrees the average resident has.
San Jose, not the county, just San Jose.
Just San Jose.
Okay.
95129.
Just the zip codes
So quality of life for families, walkability, and then all the way
based
to
on a survey.
based on a survey.
So I'm assuming like 125's high ranking.
No, it'll be like
125, number 2.
Number 2.
120 is going to be number 1, and
Well, but the problem with I was thinking that, but the problem
It's
with
not
120
Not walkable. But it had
but they're counting country club. I bet.
it had the highest 95120 had the highest
Degrees.
degrees.
I figured that.
40% of people who live in 95120 have minimum a bachelor degree.
Wow. What about
All right.
129?
Huh?
Not even.
All right, hit us with the list. Number 1.
Number 1, Almaden 95120.
Okay.
Number 2, Willow Glen 95125.
Hey, you know.
Number 3, Interesting 95148,
which is the Aborn Evergreen border area,
which we like.
which we do.
Good people come from there.
A
Absolutely.
lot of our Indian clients love that.
Next, Ben, you'll love this 95124.
Of
Duh.
course.
Duh.
That-
Aaron, number 5, 95136.
All the Sunnyvale people moving down.
That's right.
And
110
downtown.
1.
And 121. So 110, I mean, who knows where this? It was niche.
95110.
Niche.com.
That's my own.
I'm
zip code.
assuming they crushed it on walkability.
Yeah, but isn't it
Centera.
95112, right? I mean that's
That's Japantown,
That's your
Yeah.
right?
Well,
yeah.
it's a big part of
part of it.
North.
Yeah.
Yeah.
95110. 20th
But
floor.
if you're,
Centera.
but think about it. If you're not from here, say
Felt
you're moving
like
from
it
the
was
East
yesterday.
Coast, and you're like used to that like downtown feel, like and you grab like a nice like 77 Almaden or the James or something like that. Until you start walking around, you might get a little confused.
Yeah.
That's where I used to always see Jason. Hey, where are you going? I got a call.
Good list. All right.
Wow.
All right.
There's your top 7 for the first quarter.
Almaden, Willow Glen, and Cambrian, top 3.
Not a surprise.
Well, let's wrap it up at least with a couple events that are coming up for the KW team. We'll have Jelly Roll at a couple of them. We're gonna have our
Jelly roll.
we're gonna have our.
I'm actually going tonight to see Post Malone and Jelly Roll.
So was Lauren. Yeah, she'll be out there. She just left.
Where is it?
At Oracle.
Oracle.
Wherever the Giants play, whatever it's
Oh,
called.
really?
Yeah, on the field.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So a couple events coming up for KW or for the VKG. Yeah, a couple events coming up for the VKG team here over the next month.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane?
It's a canary in a coal mine.
Superman.
We have Superman. July 10th.
And
Gonna be,
and Aaron just found out it's the premiere.
It is the
so
premiere.
it's before it actually comes out.
Yeah, so all these movies that we do, to the buyers who are listening and our favorite people,
And
these are premiere movies. These aren't movies
It's
2 weeks
before
after they
everyone else.
So if you want to see Superman before everybody else, reach out to us, slide up, text us, call us.
Pull up on us.
Pull up on us. We'd love to give you some free tickets, free popcorn, free drinks for Superman. That is July 10th.
And then 2 weeks later, July 20th, our first music in the park.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have food, drinks.
Who's the food?
First week is going to be sponsored by Sushi Confidential this year.
Unbelievable.
Nice.
We'll have a couple.
Shout out to them. They bought Yuki Sushi in Willow Glen.
Shout out to them.
That's
So we'll have Randy there with the sushi. We'll have the band, nice bar, and as always, if you're looking to buy or sell, who you work with matters.
See ya.
See ya.